Are men the primary victims of war? To which, Anahi, you say yes.
Primary victims of what?
Primary victims of war. You said yes, they are. Did you have a thought on this one? You left it blank.
Yeah, I left it blank because I don't feel like I have enough information or I don't know enough in order to make that sort of opinion or comment. But yeah.
Carissa, you also no opinion on that?
Men are the victims of war, but men also send men to war, so.
Sure, yeah.
They do.
That means they're still the victims.
Chloe, you said both. Yes and no. Are men the primary victims of war? So are you like kind of in the middle? Is it, you think it's both equal? You think it's equal between men and women?
I think if the men started it, yes, because oftentimes, like for the USA, for a lot of countries, men are required to be scripted. Is that the word?
Conscripted, yeah.
Conscripted into the military. And so as a result, they are, unfortunately, victims of the war. But I'm also thinking of like the at-home kind of impact on like the wives at home and everything from the most recent wars that we've had in America, where it's just a very big impact, not just like a physical loss, but also like a mental loss, financial loss, everything.
Well, I mean, so looking at like one individual level, like, so let's say there's one military death and it's a man, and then he has a wife, and then he has 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Who's the primary victim of war? Is it equal or?
I think it depends on how you define it.
Primary.
If you think loss of life is the biggest victimization, then it would be the man.
I would have to agree that yes, it would be do you not think it's the biggest victimization?
Go into a lot of different things we can, but because then the woman at that point, she's kind of living a life where she has to.
She's widowed, yeah.
Widowed.
Financial ramifications, maybe.
Exactly.
She can always find a man though. Once you did, you did.
And what if she doesn't?
But it also takes part if
possible.
the guy willingly joined a war, knowing that there's like a possible chance that he's gonna die, so he willingly did that to himself.
Well,
What's more likely, to be resurrected from the dead or to find another husband?
But like, if
I'm just saying. What's more
people
likely?
willingly go to war. People willingly go to war and fight for the country because that's what they believe.
I mean, but here's the thing, right? Like, you have to do some sort of analysis on like the sort of social reality when it comes to like a lot of men will turn to the military for like financial reasons. So like we can make an argument like, oh man, these people are like victims of circumstance, and like maybe they joined during peacetime and they're like going in, they're young, they're 17, 18 years old, 17, 18 years old.
Like drafted.
We're almost done, guys. We're almost
like
done.
drafted?
She had a heart out, so she cleared it with us before. What's that?
Like the kids being drafted. Like
no, I'm just saying like these men, they're like young, they've got recruiters in their ear at 17, 18 years old. Okay. They're promised a car, they're promised free education, they're promised XYZ, army of one, blah, 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 all that shit, right? And then they join peacetime, and then 9/11, boom, okay, now you're in fucking Afghanistan or Iraq or some bullshit like that, fucking doing like asymmetrical warfare, like fucking urban warfare, like some, and there's all kinds of crazy shit. But also you mentioned like men start the wars, but I would say like they're actually not the ones that even get victimized. Arguably the men. I'm not sure if it has to do with their gender, more so with the fact that they're in positions of power, which is kind of irrelevant when it comes to gender. That really doesn't do anything for the like thousands or tens of thousands or millions or hundreds of thousands of 18-year-olds who are going to go fight the war. They didn't contribute in any capacity. Yeah, there was no contribution on like some 18-year-old boy in Oklahoma when it came to like getting involved in like some Middle Eastern dispute. Sorry, fucking. Mm-hmm. So okay, all right. How about this? If a woman's pregnant, she has a husband, and she goes through the pain of, let's say and I'm going to categorize pain as like some level of suffering. She goes through the pain of carrying the child and going through childbirth, which from reports is very painful, or can be very painful. Is the man the primary victim of the woman's pregnancy because he has to like see her suffer, or is the woman the primary sufferer?
Wait, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that question one more time? Are you saying if a woman is pregnant, is
Yeah,
it
if
the
a
man's
woman's
fault?
pregnant, but like the husband, like she's in the hospital room and she squeezes his hand really hard, and he sees her in pain. I mean, it's kind of equal in terms of the suffering.
If my husband
No.
ever told me that he was the victim in that situation,
Guys.
he's getting
Right.
slapped.
But we would argue that the woman is the primary, I don't want to use the term victim, but she's the primary sufferer.
Yes.
Would that be fair to say? Okay. And then, like, of course, we could also make this argument when it came to, like, let's say a father, boyfriend, brother, whatever it is. If a father's daughter, a boyfriend's girlfriend, a brother's sister, if she gets SA'd, that can be very difficult for the brother and the immediate family to deal with. But I don't think we would ever say, well, because they're very upset about what happened, I don't think we would ever say that the woman is not the primary victim in this case. Fair to say?
Do you think, do that same logic apply that you have for the war that you would for a man watching a pregnant?
I think this is very different because war is such a big impact on so many things versus this is an individual case-by-case basis.
But like, well,
No, we're just saying that I think what he's saying is the primary victim is overt in both situations. The man is primarily the victim in war, and the woman is primarily the sufferer in having a baby. So do you think that it's cut and dry, like how it is? Because you said it could be either way for the woman. For the war, you said that the man is not necessarily primarily the victim in war, not necessarily. But do you think the woman is necessarily the primary sufferer in pregnancy?
Yes.
So why is the man not the primary victim in war? When he's dead, when she just had a baby, she can bounce back from that.
I feel like for the baby, the pregnancy, it's very clear in terms of what the pain is and everything versus war impacts so many people on so many different levels. And for years, it'll impact people. In
No,
countries.
absolutely. But the main person that's victimized is no longer alive. So there's no coming back from that. You can heal from the pregnancy.
yep, good
You're not coming back from death. So I'm trying to say, how is it not the same thing? How is the man dying something that everyone deals with, but her having a child is just her?
What if women had to be conscripted into the war? Would you say the same thing then?
You said, what if? No, we talking about what is, though.
So, but you're still giving me hypotheticals here.
No, that's not hypothetical. Men don't hypothetically die. They do.
They do.
And women don't hypothetically have children. They do. So it's not a hypothetical at all.
wait, what if we change it like this? Some women do die in childbirth. If the woman dies in childbirth, is she the primary victim, or is the grieving husband the primary the victim, I guess?
I think in this case, since she died, it's going to be both parties.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'll grant you, yes. It
I
would,
agree. You know,
like, sure.
honestly, death, yes, it's unfortunate, but it's the person that's left that really suffers.
I think we have very different.
They didn't bounce back from that.
I agree with you. There's a ton of suffering. I'm sure some of us have lost a grandparent or
This
even
sounds really
a
logical,
parent.
but like, yes, like the person that dies, that's
But they
very
lost their
unfortunate,
life.
but they're gone. It's the
but they
person
lost
that's
their
it's the
life.
person that's left that's very like they have to go through this because they're still alive. So yes, I agree. If the woman dies in childbirth, then yes, I think both sides are victims.
But there's
same
one,
with the war question.
But who's
people
the
have
primary?
more. Yeah, primary. Because if you're alive, even though it's hard to live,
I think they're both primary victims.
how when you can't come back from death? You can always meet someone else. You can get counseling. Like you can create a community. You can have support from someone. Who's supporting a dead man? He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead, so he's not there anymore. It's an
Yeah,
unfortunate.
but
It's an
that's why he's
unfortunate instance.
So
yes.
so that makes him the primary victim because he's no coming back from what he went through. I'm just saying.
I guess we just have different opinions. I don't agree. I think both are. It's very unfortunate that whoever dies.
So to be fair-
but whoever's left also has to suffer with the repercussions. So
Yes,
it's both.
they do.
They're both primary victims,
But-
especially if there's children involved.
But
No,
there's a
they-
solution. There's potential for solution for the person that's alive. The person that's dead is dead.
I feel like if you were at a funeral,
I mean,
like,
it's the truth.
if you were at a funeral, like grieving someone, you wouldn't think that you're the victim. You would think that the person
Yeah.
died as the victim.
Hey, look
Simple logic to me.
Hey. Honestly, you've been talking way too much tonight. Can you try to keep it down? No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. That was actually pretty good. I guess, but we all have maybe experienced either a grandparent or even a parent who's passed away. And while these are like terrible things, and we do experience suffering, we also move on. We can heal. Whereas
There's a possibility
they're
of
dead.
solution. There is no possibility if you're dead.
you can't, like he said, Eric said, there's no resurrection.
You can meet somebody. You can meet people. It's possible. There's no possibility if you're dead.
By the way, guys.